haven't got time to mark this motherfucker. Here we go again. We can't hear anybody. Nobody can talk to anybody.
You guessed it, Pressure Points, with your two favorite hosts. I'm D, and this is Writing Sins Not Tragedies, AJ. We're coming at you with Season 6, Episode 3, Hotel Polski and the Ballerina of Auschwitz. It's a long fucking title, but it's going to be a short, sweet episode. Find us on Instagram at @PointsOPressure.
Well, turn the fucking thing off, you dumbass.
I was hoping you'd integrate that in.
Yeah.
Because it definitely sounds like a Panic at the Disco, Rest in Peace song.
Oh, shit.
All right, so a little bit of background with this, because I'm just going to jump right into it.
Oh, you're going straight into it?
I'm going
Okay,
straight
cool.
into it. I mean, just for this, for the exposition, I guess. I don't know. These two events that I'll be talking about, I've had in my notes to do an episode on since Season 1. I was going to do it in Season 1. I'm glad I didn't, because I feel like my research and storytelling capabilities for both of us have increased dramatically.
Tenfold.
So I'm glad I saved this one, because
to kind of agree with you on
better.
that. I have a friend that's going, like, he just learned that I had a podcast like 2 weeks ago. So he's been listening through it, and he's like, oh, like, this is this is so cool. Apparently, the White Walkers.
Oh, yeah, the Pale Walkers.
Pale Walkers, yeah. Sorry, Game of Thrones reference there.
It's a fun one.
So the Pale Walkers one, he was like, he fucking hates the paranormal stuff because it scares the shit out of him.
Good.
Yeah.
Then I'll do a paranormal episode.
So I go, dude, you have no idea. We got some fucking spooky ones coming up.
Yeah, just wait for those possession ones. Like, goddamn, those ones are fucking horrific,
dude. The Black-Eyed Children. That one's a good.
That one's pretty good.
Black-Eyed Peas Children.
Yeah. Let's get it started.
But yeah, he'll talk about. So he was like, "Oh yeah, I really like the voices thing that you do at the start," and I was like, "Well, don't get fucking used to it because it was so cringy." I outed that one as soon as I realized.
So he went back.
He went
and
to season
started,
1. Yeah, season 1,
and then he's gonna catch up. Damn,
yeah,
most people start and then go back.
Nah, mind you, this is the same guy that got me into One Piece, and he's like, watch every episode. So
yeah.
I told him, I was like, you can skip season 1, and he was like, D, like, you know how I am with anime. And I was like, yeah, that's true. He's like, I will listen to every single one of these. It's like, yeah, that's fair.
Well, all right.
Do your thing, man. By all
Hell
means.
yeah.
No, I'm not complaining. But yeah, if you decide to go back and listen to a backlog, just skip season 1.
I mean, there are a couple good episodes.
But
yeah, we weren't as good.
Our
audio was shit.
I feel like season 2, we really just
the
got
difference
the
is
ball
crazy.
rolling, yeah.
But we also did some episodes in season 1 that we still refer back to.
Yeah.
Like we were accidentally really smart on doing some foundational episodes in the first 2 seasons.
There's
like
actually,
IRBs.
Yeah, there are a few
Holy
things
shit.
in IRBs that I'll probably go back and do like an entire episode on
Yeah.
because it was like
We just didn't have time.
here's 2 sentences of like some
This
fucked up
horrific
medical
thing.
experiment. So, yeah.
Yeah, I just learned about like one of those schools in Canada where you take the indigenous kids in, and
Yeah.
we talked about many of these like boarding schools.
Uh-huh.
I just learned about one that you might have to look into and do a full episode on. But basically, for however many decades, they were feeding all the kids would get unpasteurized milk, but then all the faculty knew about it and would get pasteurized milk.
What the fuck?
Which led to like hundreds of deaths that were just attributed to getting sick, and they got away with it.
And
so
it was all just testing, or was it
testing?
like they were seeing they were doing testing to see the effects?
No
of
testing. They were just
unpasteurized?
like, well, if they die, they die.
Oh God!
They wanted them yeah.
Okay.
No test
Goddamn,
behind
okay.
it. It was just
you'll have to send me the
stupid.
details on that one.
Like, it was probably, it's cheaper to feed the kids this. Meanwhile,
Fucking
the
hell.
dean has a hard-on for all those dead kids.
Yeah. God.
Yeah.
Oh, also,
Crazy
sorry to continue.
Oh, no,
derailing
you're good.
you. Al from Instagram. Continue sending your stuff. I forgot to respond to you about the cult you messaged me about.
Oh, yeah, I was even reading through some of those. Hell yeah.
Keep sending
Please
your
do
shit.
it. That shit is awesome.
You have some awesome
That's some awesome
suggestions.
insights.
And to anybody else that finds something that you're like, what the fuck, send it our way. Because, like, even if you think that it can't be stretched into an episode,
It can.
We can
We'll find a way.
fucking stretch shit into an episode. So send stuff to us because, man, like, I don't know how you guys find shit, but
It's awesome.
it's always really good.
Yeah, that cult one was. I was like, holy shit!
Yeah,
God damn.
dude.
Yeah, I was just speaking to my father today
About that?
about the kind words that we've received since last season and during last season. Super awesome.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, so it's phenomenal. I was gonna say something. Oh yeah.
Oh,
Go for it.
I was gonna get back and be like, oh yeah, you were talking about how.
So I
you
was
feel
gonna
like
do this.
we can tell stories better now.
Oh yeah. I think we're almost professional. The issue is we're not on social media. Like if we tweeted, and if we tried to get like influencers on to the show or shit like that, I feel like we'd be a lot bigger. But you know what? I feel like the core of our show is still here, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like we are still very much pressure points. I was talking about this earlier.
I haven't really sold out yet, but
not
nobody's
yet.
really tried to buy us out.
Exactly.
So if you own a company and you would like to have us sell out to you, reach out to us on Instagram or email.
No, but you know what? I like it. I like where we're at.
Yeah.
I like that we have like some very dedicated fans who like the show, who talk to us, give us feedback. It's phenomenal,
It's
and
fucking
just
crazy.
listening, is enough for me. I forgot where I was going with this. I had something,
You're good.
but it's gone. It's been a long week, and it's going to be another long week next week. Got another clinical tomorrow.
Yeah.
By the time you're listening to this, I'll probably be in the clinical.
Dead.
And dead. Oh, yeah. Our storytelling ability. I got a couple things with that. One, I've been requested to ask you if two things. One related to the podcast, one not. So number one, where are the survival stories at?
Jesus Christ, we just got fucking back, bro.
I know. That's what I said. I was like, wow.
God.
But they're popular. People like them. So
Okay. Yeah, it's like
get one on deck.
It's like I told you, there was that one that posted on fucking Reddit, and he was commenting, and I was like, I should reach out to him and just see if he wants to do an interview.
That would be
That
cool.
dude that, like, I don't know, he got fucking cut in half or some shit. It was crazy. He survived. But
And then can we borrow your car tomorrow? One of your cars?
Yeah, I already told you. Don't even
I know, but she wants me to ask. It's fine.
Hey,
But
AJ and the person who would be requesting this, don't worry about asking. Leave the keys up there tomorrow. You got it. We got you.
what else was there?
Whoa, you said there were two things.
I know, to you. But yeah, I feel like we've come a long way. I was really reflecting on our growth, and we're full of shit. But a lot of people have been saying
good shit.
We're
full of good shit.
Yeah. But a lot of people have said, like, hey, you talk about some seriously dark, creepy, depressing ass shit, but you do it in a way that's really approachable. And you know what? If that's what you take away from this, that you're able to learn about these horrible things
in a way that you can stomach it.
In a way that is, you're able to stomach it and sleep at night and not, you're not psychologically fucked up.
We take that burden off of you.
Yeah, no, I consider that a success.
Yeah,
because there's so much shit in history that people just don't acknowledge. I'm actually going to be, part of this is an extremely dark and never spoken about part of World War II. It's a World War II episode. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, it's an
I'm
AJ
talking to
episode,
D, not anybody else. It's I talk about something that we've never talked about on the show.
Yeah.
That is rough. It's a very rough topic for a lot of people and a lot of history around this.
AJ, I don't know how to break this to you, but we've been doing shows for 6 years, and I'm pretty sure we've talked about Auschwitz and World War II plenty of times.
But not ballerinas. And no,
Yeah,
so do you
no
want me
sweat.
to? Oh yeah.
Yeah, by all means, take it away, man.
Yeah, and if you want more,
oh yeah.
Patreon.com/points of pressure.
We get
That's
an
it.
extra episode a month. Another one coming within the next 2 days because
it's the last 2 days a month.
January 31st is 2 days away, baby.
All right, so Hotel Polski. It's a nice hotel. It opened in 1808 in Warsaw, Poland.
Okay.
Beautiful vacation destination. I wasn't able to find it on Expedia today, so I don't think it's used as a hotel anymore.
It's not real anymore.
If it even exists anymore in its... Well, I know it after the war it was retrofitted and used as other shit for a while. So I don't know what's there now. But, beautiful place. And in 1941, the Holocaust is in full swing. World War II is going on. We know all that shit. We've been talking about that forever.
Okay. We have?
Yeah. It's weird. But there were a bunch of Jewish organizations, Polish diplomats who were working with Switzerland and a bunch of South American countries to send documents into the Warsaw Ghetto.
Okay.
Which I think the Warsaw Ghetto was the largest ghetto during the war. I could be totally wrong. It's the biggest one that, like, historically, I should say. Like, you got the Warsaw Uprising, and there's just a whole bunch of shit.
Warsaw is... I've always wanted to go.
It's on my list. On my list to go to, for
It'd be
sure.
a cool one. We'll have to do it during our Central and Eastern European...
Here, we'll do a pressure points tour of Europe, and we'll go everywhere that we've mentioned.
I mean, it would be fucking
Which is
cool,
literally
yeah.
everywhere.
I think it'd be pretty sick.
That would be awesome. Some of the biggest episodes.
If you want us to do it, subscribe on Patreon.
There you go.
Help fund it.
So these organizations were working with diplomats to send documents, like, documents that said, "Hey, I'm from Argentina. Yeah, I'm a foreign national." That's kind of the idea, passports and stuff like that.
Kind of. So, like, documents to help people that are in the ghetto that should not be,
just to help anybody in the ghetto
or
get out.
just anybody that wants to get out that can.
Yeah.
Kind of like what I've talked about before, where they're falsifying documents, giving them to people just so that they can get the fuck out of there.
That's exactly it. They're
cool.
They're 100% like the Nazis would be a little bit more lenient to a Jewish person if they can prove that they are a foreign national of a neutral country. Yeah. That was the important part. If they were from an allied country, they were, POWs, and it was worse.
Yeah.
If they were from an Axis country, same thing. But if they were from a neutral country, if they were from Switzerland or South America, then they would be a little bit more lenient, and they would actually help facilitate. Well, they would allow the facilitation of getting them out, deporting them at this point. And even then, I use the word lenience. It wasn't like, oh, you got the paperwork, you can go.
Yeah.
It's just like, well, if we execute everybody who says they're from Argentina, then Argentina's going to be really mad when the ones who actually are don't come back. Like, they're basically trying to get those neutral powers to not be pissed off at them.
What year is this? Is this before
41.
Oh, okay. I was like, is this before it's been considered a world war, or...
See, that's a gray area, is when it's considered a world war. Anybody in America says when America entered the war.
Yeah.
A lot of people say, oh, it's when the Axis powers included Japan, which then, merged the Sino-Japanese war with the war in Europe and basically made it worldwide. There are a bunch of different points of conjecture for that. But the whole idea, let's mail them in some documents.
Yeah.
By the time the documents arrived, most of the time the people were dead.
We're already dead, yeah.
Or the mail was just intercepted by the Gestapo, because why wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
So the Gestapo and the Nazis started to stockpile these documents up. And they're like, oh, we gotta, maybe this will, do something. Maybe we'll be able to use this information later. Maybe do some schemes, some Nazi schemes.
Yeah.
And a lot of the interception was done by a group called Zagiew, Zagiew, and it's Polish, so who knows? I'm not Polish, I'm sorry.
Zagiew.
Segiew.
Zagiew.
Or Die Fackel, which is the torch.
I'm not going to try that one.
That was pretty close. That one's German. I know that some of that pronunciation. A little bit. But basically, they were a group of Nazi collaborators, but they were all Jewish agents.
Okay.
Who were working with the Nazis. And, a lot of people don't know that existed.
Yeah.
That there were people who were... the excuse always given is, well, they either had to work or, work for it or die.
Mm-hmm.
until you're in a situation, you can't really say which one's better. But obviously, these groups are not remembered well if they're remembered at all. But basically, bunch of people who are Jewish, who were either forced to or agreed to work with the Nazis. And these were agent provocateurs. Provocateurs, whatever that's called.
Yeah. You said it right.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Damn. And they were led by a dude named Abraham Genkvach.
God damn it. You
Genkvach.
did so well on provocateurs.
I know. Abraham
Genkvach?
Genkvach. Let's say that.
Genkvach.
He was a rich bitch Jewish kingpin. He was a crime kingpin.
Fucking nice.
Within the Warsaw Ghetto.
Okay.
He worked with the Nazis within the ghetto to form, Zagiuv and another group called the 13. They were named that because their headquarters street, number, address was 13.
13.
Really boring. But they were another Jewish Nazi collaborator group. And he used these groups in working with the Nazis to heavily enrich himself.
Okay.
Just like a mob boss. So Zagiu, I'm just going to keep saying it like that.
Yeah.
They were more secretive. Their goal was to infiltrate the Jewish resistance and discover its connections to the Polish underground and, basically rat out all the other spy groups.
Rat out the rats.
Yeah, that were trying to, either smuggle people out, bring documents in, anything like that. That was their job, infiltrate these groups.
Okay.
And, a lot of people were instantly trusting if you said, oh, yeah, I'm Jewish, and you knew about it. Which sucks for the resistance group because, that's why
it's such an easily infiltrated thing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, not a lot of people were very willing to say, hi, I'm Jewish. Are you with the underground collaborators?
Yeah.
To just fucking anybody.
The 13 were actually a uniformed group. They were 300 to 400 Jewish agents. They had a hat and an armband. They were tasked...
As is tradition.
As is tradition, yes. To be one of these agents, it cost a lot of money, thousands of dollars a month.
Ooh.
Something to keep in mind. So these people were tasked with shutting down any black market activity, any smuggling, anything like that. But because it was so expensive to be a member, they immediately started to run the black market. They did racketeering, they did smuggling.
Fuck yeah.
They even, one of their big things that they did was they set up a hospital with an ambulance service in the Warsaw Ghetto.
Okay.
And it was 100% used just to smuggle shit out the gates. So they would say, oh, this person needs medical attention. And then they go out and they would just smuggle anything they could.
They're
Food,
just conveyor
water,
belts
drugs.
of drugs.
Yeah.
Like in the basement.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And these groups, the big thing that I took away from this whole, doing the research on this story is that there were a lot of spy networks happening everywhere on both sides, made up of everybody. It was completely insane. You couldn't throw a rock in the Warsaw Ghetto without hitting a spy for one group or another. And a lot of these, Jewish Nazi collaboration groups were just used as, proxy wars among high-ranking Gestapo dudes.
Okay.
So the Gestapo would be like, oh, well, I have the allegiance of this Abraham dude who's over these two groups, and he's working for me. And then there's this other Gestapo dude who's like, well, I have these groups, and they're working for me, and then I'm going to pit them against your groups, and
it's like an incestual family tree.
100%. That's exactly it. All while...
It's literally like looking at Cleopatra's family tree. If you haven't gotten a chance to look at it, it's most
a circle
clusterfuck of... No, it's just
it's worse than that.
Yeah, it's just lines over lines, names and shit, and you're like, what the fuck is going on here? It's crazy shit. But that's what I imagine it to be like is...
Yeah, that's it. And they were all trying to control different aspects of crime. They were also trying to maintain control of the ghetto itself. So the Nazis are utilizing Jewish people to control the Jewish people and enrich themselves while also bringing down other Gestapo. Like, it really is this incestuous mess.
Yeah.
All while the only people who are getting punished for this are more Jewish people, whether you're in the crew
Just
or not.
Just the fucking regular Jewish people.
Yeah. Yeah, it's completely crazy. And, you know, one note on, I talk about this later, but Abraham Genkwach, a little fucking bitch, his demise is unknown. This guy got away with it.
Damn.
He wasn't liquidated during the ghetto liquidation.
He fucking
There was
moved to Argentina.
The Jewish Combat Squad or something like that. It's another one of these like underground Jewish resistance groups. Sentenced him to death. Never found him. I bet he died in Argentina.
Yeah.
Next to some Nazis. This guy was an asshole.
Oh,
This guy was
fucking easily,
fucking
dude.
awful.
Yeah.
This guy threw so many innocent people under the bus,
Oh, I'm sure.
and he was able to get away with it because he had a lot of money. Like,
God, gotta love it.
fantastic. So, the Warsaw Ghetto was liquidated. Every ghetto gets liquidated. I hate that term. But, yeah, that's the term we're going to say. They
Cleaned
closed it up. They cleaned
Yeah.
it out. Not that there was anything wrong with, you know, anything inside. They killed everybody or deported them. But during the liquidation, the Gestapo was like, well, we know probably a couple hundred, maybe a couple thousand people were able to escape during the liquidation. Maybe they were outside the fences when it was happening. Maybe they were doing work, whatever it was. They were able to escape. So we need a way to find them and finish cleaning up the streets.
Jesus.
And this plan took many shapes, many forms, kind of evolved over the time, but it ended up being called the Hotel Polski affair.
Okay.
So one dude was like, all right, I've got an idea. We got all these like documents in a cardboard box, not doing anything. And what we're going to do is we're going to start selling these documents.
The fuck?
So the Nazis had the collaborator groups, the ones that had remained after the liquidation, to start to spread, basically the ones who actually had connections to other underground resistance groups, spread the rumor, and it was mostly the Zagu at this point. They were supposed to spread the rumor to the underground that Jewish people who had foreign passports would be allowed to emigrate across the board. Because before it was like, you're more likely to, but it really just depends on who's checking them and whether they just shoot you in the back right there or not. So the rumor was you would be allowed to as long as you had a foreign documentation. So then they're like, all right, how do we sell these? So they set up 2 locations, Hotel Royal and the Hotel Polski. They eventually moved just to Hotel Polski.
Oh, okay.
And then they started spreading those rumors that, hey, you can buy. Now that 2 weeks ago you heard that you can immigrate if you had foreign passports, I just found a place that sells them.
And it's all just a front.
And you can buy these. I mean, it's expensive, so, bring your life savings or whatever.
Yeah.
But you can buy them. So they started selling them out of Hotel Polski, and it became kind of a gathering place for Jews. People started to come out of hiding
Jesus.
and get a room at Hotel Polski, because they also started to spread the rumor that Hotel Polski would be like an embassy almost. Like it's going to be a neutral, safe ground for immigration.
I see. That they're like, oh, we'll make sure that it's I used the term back in season 5 at some point. Season 4, I think. Where I talk about actually I think it was season 5, early season 5. I talk about that guy that he falsified a bunch of documents for people. Same thing, like either like embassy grounds or like
some level of immunity.
This is like there's a fucking
I know
term
there
for it. God damn it. Here, I'll look it up.
Yeah. I'll just keep going. So, people started coming out. People started buying these documents and then just getting a room at the hotel with multiple people. Because they're like, okay, I got the documents. I'm here. Now I just got to wait for the Nazis to show up and say I can leave.
Great.
Yeah, fantastic. Let's trust them.
Yeah, this will go over well.
And let's see, how many was it? So the Polish underground were immediately like to everybody they could, "Hey, that's a trap. Hey, that says trap all over it. Do
Yeah,
not
for
go
real.
there."
But it's tough because everyone was so fucking desperate for safety at the time.
Well, they were desperate, and the people who they were getting the information from were from Jewish underground groups because they'd been infiltrated by Zagu. So they were getting it from sources that they trusted. So when one trusted source says do it, one trusted source says don't, it causes a lot of problems, especially when at this point you have the emotion behind it. You know what happened in Warsaw.
Yeah.
You know what happened during the Warsaw Uprising. You know what's happening now. Like, there's a lot of emotion. There's a lot of, we need to get out of here. I need to save my family. I'll do everything I can. You know, that kind of desperation.
By the way, sorry. The Swedish Schindler
Yeah.
is that episode. Season 5, episode 18. Sorry about that.
Oh, no, you're good. So go listen to it right now and tell us what that word was.
Yeah, get back to us because fucking hell, I can't find it.
That's all right. So it's estimated that between 2,500 and 3,500 Jewish people came out of hiding and moved to the hotel during this time period. And in May 21st, 1943, the Nazis showed up and said, "All right, who's here to emigrate? Who's got their documents?"
Well, yeah.
Yeah?
Great.
That's great.
Yeah,
Oh, I
this is
thought you
gonna
were
go
excited.
so well.
And they were transferred from the hotel to a resort town in France called Vittel, where they were put into a camp.
I was gonna say it sounds like the name of a camp,
But it was a holding camp. It wasn't like...
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
like
yeah, I'm
compared to the camps in Germany and Poland, this one was literally just a camp.
I found it.
What is it?
It's diplomatic immunity is the word I was
Yeah.
thinking of.
Yeah,
it
that's
allows
the term.
you diplomatic immunity because
Within that
it's
area.
international ground.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Jesus.
You're good.
We'll just read through all the fucking notes on this. Extraterritorial.
Yeah,
Sorry.
shit like that.
Extraterritorial diplomatic immunity.
So the idea was, okay, stay here in this town while we figure out, diplomatic shit, and this is the transit point. From this town, you will be, we'll figure out transportation with whatever South American government you're from, and then we'll get you over there. So they started shipping people down to Vittel, and 2 months later, July 15th, only 420 people remained at the hotel. 420 Jewish people remained at the hotel.
And how many people were in Vittel?
Whatever, like 33,080 something. They're still there.
Yeah.
Nothing's happened to them
Yeah,
yet.
nobody's been
Nobody's been
sent
murdered yet.
home yet.
Nobody's been sent home yet.
Yeah.
But they're saying, oh, well, it's diplomatically, it's a very complex
It's a slow
political process.
It may have been quick for us to get you over here, but now the process becomes really slow.
Well, because they got to verify your documents. They got to do all this shit.
Yeah, sure.
So those 420 people, they remained at the hotel because they couldn't actually afford the documents, which the documents, adjusted for inflation, were upwards of $1 million.
Holy shit.
Yeah, this attracted very, very wealthy Jewish people.
God damn.
And, people who sold or got rid of everything, and they would give them everything that they possibly could until they were completely penniless.
Jesus.
And then they were sent to Vittel. But, a nice French resort town, right?
Yeah, totally. Absolutely.
And so September comes around. It's starting to get a little cold in Vittel, maybe.
I don't know.
So that's another 2 months. So they've been in Vittel for roughly, like the first people there have been there for 4 months.
Yeah.
The newest people there have probably been there for about 2 months. And they're just being told, hey, we're doing this, we're doing this. Then Germany said, hey, everybody in South America, those documents of all those people waiting in that camp that we've been trying to arrange this shit and dragging our feet for, all those documents are fake. We know it. You can verify it. Like, here's one of these bad forgeries.
Oh, no.
So they knew they were fake, obviously, the whole time.
Yeah.
But revealing it after getting everybody together and grouped up, suddenly South America not only says, well, we can't take them, it has to be valid, but they also, even if they wanted to, they couldn't.
Yeah.
Like, they're legally...
Even if they've set everything up to accept them, now they can't because it's falsified government fucking documents.
Exactly.
Oh, God.
And South America, all the countries were like, fuck, like, can't really do anything. So, all but 260 of them were sent to Auschwitz.
Oh.
Those 260 had legitimate Palestine documentation saying they were from Palestine, and they were held and exchanged for Nazi prisoners that Palestine had.
Jesus Christ.
So they were used in a prisoner exchange.
Yeah, even though they had fucking
Even though they
legit documents.
They had, yeah. They had
oh
that
God.
right to travel, but yeah. So,
Jesus.
yeah, Abraham was sentenced to death, never found him. Who knows where he went? He had a lot of money to disappear, that fucking asshole.
God damn.
And so one of these victims is kind of transitioning to the second half
Okay.
of our story, and it's a quicker story for this one. But one of the people who were sent to Auschwitz was a woman by the name of Francesca Mann.
Okay.
That's what she's known as. She, everybody during this time period had their Polish name, then they had like the German name, and then they had their stage name.
Their South American name.
Yeah.
And...
Exactly. So she was, she was known as one of the most promising dancers of her generation. She was about Ballerina. She placed fourth in like an international competition before the war. She worked at a nightclub. She was a dancer. Like, she was going places.
Yeah.
And she was sent to Auschwitz.
She was going to be a star.
She was definitely going to be a star. And kind of her story from here gets hazy in the historical record.
Okay.
And I don't want to completely kill off an awesome legend by saying, oh, that not likely that was true. So,
fuck it.
So I'm going to tell you what we know happened historically, and then a couple of the different eyewitness people who said, oh, no, I saw this event, or I knew parts of this event. And then I'll tell you the legend. Okay. But I'll start with a legend, because that's the more fun.
Yeah.
So when you're
just tell the legend.
I'll just well no it takes some conversation, which I think is the more interesting part. And so basically the legend is, when you go into Auschwitz, you get selected. When you go to the gas chamber, they make you undress before.
Okay.
They say, oh, we got to take your clothes to be deloused or whatever, and we got to clean you guys. Let's go. You guys go in the showers. So the story is that she undressed so sexually and sensuously, and I could actually see this working, because in 1941 you work at a death camp as a Nazi,
Yeah.
and you only see the women who are so emaciated that they're dying to even breathe, like.
Yeah. And
then
the
you
men
see
are
all of a
skin
sudden-
and bones and boners. Like,
Yeah. And then all of a sudden you see this young 20-something fit, healthy woman. Boing, yoing, yoing, you know.
Yeah.
So she dances all sexually, and she seduces him. And one of the stories is she took her heel and got the guy in the face with it.
Ah, damn.
Steals his gun, shoots him in the stomach twice, which kills him, shoots the other guard, and it triggers this rebellion of all the women, and they're all fighting back against their guards. One guard loses his nose, one guard is scalped.
Jesus.
And then, of course, what always happens with an uprising, they just all get gunned down. But for a moment, it allowed these women to go out with the dignity of the fight, you know? And I love that version of the story. That one's great. Another one, she, like, stabbed another guard in the hip with her heel, and, like, he had to limp for the rest of his life.
Hell yeah.
I love it.
Fingers crossed that won't happen too.
Yeah, definitely. Probably. But you know what? They definitely, during this time, they needed that legend of people being able to fight back.
Especially with how fucking, like, repressed everyone is.
Yeah, there were, and during this time period, the information that you get from the underground groups is spotty.
Yeah.
Because not everybody, you were completely relying on people talking and hoping somebody else writes it down. Like, not a lot of shit was written down. But we do know 100% that on the day that she was in Auschwitz, well, it's suspected it was her. Because Not everybody knew Francesca Mann. But, we have one person who recognized her going in, and he was on the other side. He was already in Auschwitz, and he wrote Eyewitness. I think it was called Eyewitness Auschwitz. It's a book.
Oh, okay.
And he talks about the people that he saw, the events that he saw. So he said, oh, yeah, I saw her, but she never made it into the camp as far as I know. Like, they were segregated, so who knows? And then there was another person who was like, yeah, I saw this lady. I don't know how she did it, but she got the gun away from one of them and killed one, shot the other guy who had to be hospitalized out. And, yeah, there was a riot. And so, devil's in the details, but what a badass.
Fucking hell.
That's the way to do it.
And the thing is, even if she didn't get inside and she's still outside,
she still fought back.
It's
like,
not
that's
like
some hope.
it's not like they're all inside fucking like concrete walls.
Yeah, it's a fence.
Yeah, this is a fucking more or less chain link fence. She's outside and fucking takes off her heel and stabs some Nazi in the neck and takes his gun. There are going to be fucking Jews inside that see it.
Yeah,
like
100%.
Whether they were allowing her inside or not, there's a good chance that there is truth to that story.
Yeah, and 100%.
Damn.
To the historical record, we know that a woman stole a gun from a guard on the day she was there and shot and killed one, wounded one heavily, and then multiple guards got wounded. It was all just a mess.
That's fucking awesome.
And like what a badass to do that. Like at this point, this is 1941. The legends and the stories from Auschwitz are known. I think at this point there were reports from people who were in Auschwitz who escaped.
Okay.
That are known to the Polish underground. Like, they knew what was going on. They knew about the Holocaust at this point. So knowing that and being forced to face that really would bring out an increase. I think it would bring out in a lot of people, well, I'm going to die anyway. Let's see what I can do. That kind of attitude. So it's...
Shit.
So a real shitty thing by a lot of shitty people, but... But yeah, I've wanted to do this one for a long time.
That's sick.
And there were a lot of people who got caught up in the Hotel Polski affair. Like, there were famous poets.
So you said it was like 33,000 that
3,500.
Oh, that were taken to
about
Vittel.
Yeah, minus 420.
Vittel?
So
is that what it was?
Vittel? Vittel. And it's French. I don't speak French, so...
I don't know.
Vittel. Vitto.
Vittel. I don't know. That. Okay. I was thinking like 30,000 for some reason. I was like,
Jesus.
Fucking hell.
I mean, still.
Yeah.
And these were people who were either smart enough or lucky enough to survive the Warsaw liquidation.
That's why it was probably strange when you were like, yeah, it cost $1 million. And I was like, what the fuck? There were 33,000 fucking Jews
that makes more sense.
Like $1 million.
No.
What the fuck?
Like, at this point, these were very wealthy people or... Yeah, and I mean, it worked. It's that Nazi efficiency,
Jesus Christ.
Terrible.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't know about the Nazi collaborators who were Jewish. Mm-hmm. And the ironic thing, about 90%, probably way more than that, I'm just throwing that out, of the Nazi collaborators who were Jewish were also just murdered anyway.
I mean, it's fucking Hitler's driver. Or it's something like that. There was somebody that it was either his driver or like a butler or something that they were Jewish, but because they knew everything that he preferred, he was like, yeah, I'll keep him around, whatever. Like,
it's like that.
Kind of the
but
same
then they
concept,
later on just killed him anyway.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, because these people, for whatever their own personal motivation was to collaborate with the Nazis, knowing the horrors that are befalling other people, regardless of, like, at least for me, obviously, I'm a product of a different generation. I don't care if I share kinship with that person. If they're being systematically destroyed like that, I have an issue with it. But would that be stronger that they were also Jewish? Like, so whatever their motivation was, whether it was out of fear that they collaborated, whether it was out of they were just shitty people,
survival,
just survival.
Like
Yeah, you can't. 100% paint everybody with the same brush. They were still shitty for doing it.
Unless you're a Nazi.
Unless you're a fucking Nazi, then go fuck yourself. That one's true. I just don't understand how some of these guys, like in Zigu, they were allowed to carry guns.
Jesus.
The Nazis were like, yeah, a couple of you can carry guns. That's fine.
What the fuck?
You guys
Imagine
can do
being
stuff.
that much of a fucking bootlicker bitch.
Yeah, that's the exact thing. It's like right now there's a bunch of shit happening in Atlanta. If you don't know, do you know? Are you caught up on all that shit? Bruh, it's a
honestly,
mess.
I haven't fucking looked at my phone for like
That's good.
2 or 3 days.
Don't do that. So I'll give you a quick rundown. Also, I'm going to preface this by saying I am not in Atlanta. I do not 100% understand what's going on. These are the basics that I've gotten through because it's really not on the news. But the basics are there's some forest somewhere near Atlanta that they're going to bulldoze like 370 acres
Jesus.
to build a fake city for cops to train in, despite the fact that a neighboring county has a training facility that is empty for most of the year.
You gotta find a place to put the fucking millions of dollars in budget.
Exactly. So people are protesting that.
Yeah.
Because despite it having like an extremely low approval rating, it did not get voted for in any way.
It's still being
They're
done.
still just said, no, fuck it. Because I'm sure the
Probably
city
it's-
council's making a shitload
To
of
be
money.
honest, it's probably some private company that just agreed.
Yeah, well, no, I'm sure the city council's getting kickbacks
Yeah.
from the company and from the cops and
Jesus.
shit. Then Tyree Nichols beat to death by 5 cops.
Yeah.
Was it 5?
I think so. 4 or 5.
Yeah, so today or yesterday, I mean, that's not going to work because, this is recorded in the future.
Yeah.
Today or yesterday from the day of recording, the body cam footage was released.
Yeah, I think that was yesterday or the day before.
Yeah. And that is causing, obviously, this is Atlanta. This is same place George Floyd. Like, they are pissed.
No. George Floyd was
Hold on.
Minneapolis.
Well, yeah. I mean, he wasn't murdered in Atlanta. It was
Oh,
I
George.
don't know, outside of it. No, I'm talking about Tyree
Oh,
Nichols.
I was like
Yeah, but,
George Floyd wasn't
no,
in
I'm
Atlanta.
just saying,
I
like,
see,
Atlanta
yeah.
is the nearby big city.
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to protest in Memphis?
Yeah, seriously.
Cows? Nothing happens there.
Country music.
So
Hall
you
of Fame.
got to be like, if there's something big that happens in Utah, or that if anybody's protesting anything in Utah, the protest is going to happen in Salt Lake.
I see what you're saying.
Sorry, that I don't want to say. Yeah,
I was like, bro, George Floyd is fucking Minnesota.
yeah, but that's the
But you're
whole the concept. So, they got. I don't remember where I was going with this.
Massive amounts of protests and
Protests for dumb shit,
Yeah.
and well, I mean, I'm not saying the reasons for protests are dumb. I'm saying it shouldn't happen in the first place.
yeah.
It's dumb that it
Jesus.
continues to happen. And like the National Guard was called in,
Of course they were.
and so it's like in that situation, if they didn't call in the National Guard, but they said we'll deputize whoever wants to go against these protesters. So it's like they're recruiting the same people that they're oppressing
Yeah.
to oppress those same people, and that was a common Nazi tactic. That's the point I was trying to get to.
Oh, I
that
see.
makes more sense.
It's because the people that they're oppressing and recruiting aren't smart enough to realize that they're being fucking oppressed.
Yeah, at the exact same time. It's like that Run the Jewels song, or there's a famous poet that it's based on, or a poem that it's based on, where it's the essentials are they built the cage for this group, and I helped because I didn't mind because I wasn't that group.
Yeah.
And then they used that cage for this group, and I don't mind, and because I'm not that group. And then they're like, well, now they're putting me in the cage, and there's nobody else to help me.
Damn, Republicans are a different fucking breed,
Like,
aren't they?
holy shit.
There's actually there's a joke. I don't know the comedian's name, but he talks about his family dog Muffin, I think, and he's like, Muffin loves humans, like total people dog. And it hates other dogs, and he's like, it's kind of like a black Republican, like it fucking loves
my
its
God,
oppressors, and it hates it.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
Oh shit! And he was like, "It's a surprise. Like we should have named it Clarence Thomas."
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the
fucked. I'll have
entire
to- I'll have
idea
to catch
is
up
that
on it.
there's a historical precedent for people supporting their oppressors, and I hate it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, how many people do you see voting for their representative who's going to vote against Social Security or public education. It's like, bitch, that stuff is to benefit you. How many people are complaining when they tried to pass through, like, federal student loan debt relief?
Yeah, like the fact that Mississippi is a blue state or a fucking red state when, like, think of how many people are fucking, like, need the welfare. They need it, and they don't get
here's
it
the thing.
because they've been force-fed all the information of how, oh, well, that's for fucking beggars. It's like, no, it's a program that's in place to benefit you.
I have actually something directly on those lines. You know Mitch McConnell?
Yeah.
Frog
Kentucky.
Satan, Kentucky guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Kentucky,
Perfect example of it.
he's very much get rid of Social Security, no socialism, get rid of, all that, like
Eliminate
SNAP,
welfare.
EBT, welfare, all this shit. Meanwhile, per capita, Kentucky consumes the most federal aid out of any state, and has consistently for like 15 years.
It's fucking ridiculous.
It is so, like, how can you stand there and vote? Well, it's money, and people don't give a shit, and it's all old fucks who are completely disconnected. But hey, kill your local politician today. Maybe I shouldn't say that.
No,
that's a joke. In a video game.
Actually
in a video game.
I'll tell you after. We'll get into further political commentary.
Yeah, we're
after.
done with that. Sorry, we usually don't make this too political. But I just thought
not since October 2020.
Yeah. But I thought it was a very interesting thing to connect those.
Yeah,
people supporting their oppressors, and
Christ.
In the end, wouldn't you know, they were also oppressed.
Yeah.
It just went. Oh, you're like literally the 13 were liquidated and killed off and sent to death camps as soon as they stopped being. As soon as the Nazis figured out, oh, that hospital ambulance thing is just for smuggling, and we're not getting a cut.
Yeah.
Auschwitz.
Send them. Jesus.
Yeah. Like, that's the whole fucking thing. That's
grand.
So there's a historical precedent to human beings being fucking assholes. That's the only thing you take away from any episode of this podcast. Episode. That's the truth.
Jesus. All right. Well, on that note, if you would like
support your oppressor, you can find us on Patreon.
Find us on Patreon. We do an extra episode per month now. We've got some other shit on there. Fucking
stuff.
Sloppy seconds. We did like 20 of those or something. We did a little video walkthrough of the studio, even though that's not really what it looks like right now. And AJ has put together a really cool series called Voices, where he talks about survivors of the Holocaust. Also, we really haven't talked much about this. We mentioned the first episode, but Homeboy got access to the Jewish archives.
Oh, yeah.
So
it's awesome.
There's going to be some good stuff coming out when he can get to it. So no rush on your part. No rush on your part.
Yeah, but we should probably specify not the Jewish archives.
Oh.
I don't know what that is. That would be awesome.
What is it?
It's the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum Archives.
Yeah, Jewish archives.
It counts. It works.
So yeah, if you want to listen to some extra shit that we've made, by all means, subscribe on there. It's like $4.20 as our lowest tier. If you can afford it, cool. If you can't, no
biggie.
sweat. Yeah. Follow us on Instagram. Get your parents to fucking subscribe and then steal their password. No big deal. And we'll give you a shout out every episode if you're fucking subscribed on there.
Until it gets too big, and then we can't.
Yeah, until it gets too big.
So get it now.
We just
we
just say thank you to everyone, and we thank the biggest tier.
Yeah, the biggest tier. Oh, you mean the board? Wow. So just so you know, the board, they make all the decisions. You know, they are usually the first ones to message us when I accidentally upload a complete file with no audio somehow. I still don't know how that happened, but I'm glad you were on it in like 2 minutes, so that helped. But yeah, of course, we've got Mini D, Nordic Thunder, and Toddle Waddle. Thank you guys so much for being a chairperson.
Yeah.
We really do. Like, I hope everything's going well with y'all.
You guys are forcing us to pay taxes on pressure points this year, so
you guys are forcing D to pay taxes and commit tax fraud.
No,
I mean,
no, I'm not committing tax fraud for anyone that is
for
in
anyone
the IRS.
that's not
committing in a video tax
game.
Fraud.
In a video game.
We're doing it legit this year, I promise.
It actually is. But you were doing it in a video game. They just bust through the window.
The small one.
Yeah.
They come in with Black Widows all over them. Oh, God, don't tackle me.
Oh, fuck.
I'll comply. I'll put the cuffs on myself.
Yeah. And then we've got, of course, Abby, AJ's Third Nut, Thomas, Dark Runner, D's Nuts, and Laura Revo. Thank you guys so much for, helping us.
Yeah, we
I say it
appreciate
every
you
week.
guys.
Keep the lights on. I mean that literally.
Yeah. We're getting fewer and fewer lights in here.
We are.
But
you're helping them on.
Yeah.
I like
you
the
guys
mood
are the
lighting.
ones that are keeping them on. So.
Oh, yeah. And, helping us do advertising, buy our equipment.
Yeah.
We need to do an ad, too, by the way.
Yeah. After
Soon.
I get the fucking taxes.
Well, yeah. But, yeah. You guys, thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate
That's
you guys.
all I got.
And as always, if you ever have any show ideas, TV, music, books, movies, video games, you just want to talk, or you need somebody to talk to about anything, by all means, reach out to us on Instagram at pointsopressure or email us at ppdnaj@gmail.com. And we'll catch you guys next fucking Monday.